Series. I'm here live at Winter NAMM 2020, and right now I have with me Tim Rockmore on an Alsip guitar. So take it away, Tim. I have right here with me Jake and Shane from AlsipGuitars. So what guitar were you just playing just now?
This is our brand new SC carved top model that's brand new for NAMM 2020.
Or is some of the features of this guitar? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
We have some exotic woods, and this is one of our Tejas Series. So if you look at the back of the guitar, you see the construction is straight, straight through the body of it, all one piece. Well, it's laminated, it's multiple pieces, but all together. So, and we have all the upgrades. We have our toy with all the upgrade parts on it. We have our sustain enhancement system. I mean, it's modded out, ready to go.
That's awesome. And then the guitar that Tim was playing earlier, which model is that one?
This one's the Tejas T. This is the one he was playing earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Tejas T. It's a bolt-on neck instead of the neck through construction like we do.
Okay.
So we offer different ones for different players, obviously.
Right, right. And then as far as the Alsip line, do you guys focus primarily on customization, or do you have a regular line as well?
We have a production model that's called the Classic Series. Starts at $1595, and it's really good having that because we offer an affordable price for people that want just a simple guitar. But then you go up from there, customize Tejas Series and the neck through series.
And then in terms of the customization, what exactly can you do to it? Just pretty much anything you want?
Yeah, pretty much. Our standard shapes we keep, but we can, put whatever pickups they want in it, position them where they want them and stuff like that. Yeah, right. Customize it to what they want,
Okay, and then tell us, because you were telling me a little bit about the fretboard and the work that goes into the fretboards that you make. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's just the fretwork in general. We spend a lot of time. You go in a shop and you pick up a guitar and it's got sharp frets.
Right.
Everybody hates that. You slice your hand up. And I mean, even though it's a work in progress, it doesn't, wood shrinks and then you get sharp edge. But we put that attention to detail to really round those edges and try to get rid of those sharp fret edges. And just the fretwork in general, put a lot of our work in that.
And how do you do that, like when you're rounding them off?
Well, it's just in the fretwork itself, when we level and crown and repolish the frets and all that stuff. And then Shane here, he does most of the fretwork actually. I kind of got out of that now. I do other chores, but he can tell you a little bit more about that.
I'm a player, obviously, and I want these guitars to play like a dream, whether you're Phil Collins from Def Leppard playing one of our guitars, or Frank Hannon, or just some kid in their bedroom. I mean, you can appreciate a great playing guitar, right? So as a player, I always appreciated that. So I'm very particular. I spend a lot of time just to make sure it feels great, sounds great, and it meets your expectations, exceeds your expectations.
Right. And then in terms of this guitar that I'm holding right now, I thought it was just so beautiful in terms of the body work and the finish. This is the Fireburst, correct?
Fireburst, yeah.
And then just take a look at the back here. Can you tell me a little bit about what you did in order to achieve this look?
Yeah, we started doing this thing. I've always wanted to build a guitar out of like barnwood, but problem is most barnwoods aren't good woods to build guitars out of.
Right.
So this is actually a maple body on this solid maple, and I go through a series of wire brushes and wheels and different things to actually obtain this look. But I can do it where it looks really stressed, or I can do it where it looks kind of like this. And then after I do that, I go through a series of sanding it so it's not, you don't get splinters out of it.
Right.
And then I do a base coat and I do a mid coat on it that gives it a satin look. Of course, the top's gloss, you know, and then we did the tortoiseshell binding on this one. So,
Right.
So it makes it really, it's different. It's like the best of both worlds. You got the gloss on the front, but then the back, it's got that raw, you know, look to it.
Right. And what is the model number for this one?
It's just a Tejas T. That's all this
T?
one is. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and it's T for like a telly.
Yeah.
Telly body,
Yeah.
telly style body.
It's our style, yeah.
Okay, right.
Our take on it. Too.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. So.
And then tell me a little bit about, you know, like if somebody was going to buy a premium guitar, why would they purchase an Alsip guitar versus like some of the more commonly thought of guitars?
Well, I think that you know, we're a smaller company, and we spend a lot of time with attention to detail stuff. Also, our stuff is very much hand built.
Right.
You hear companies say, "Oh yeah, we hand build this," but then you find out they use a CNC on, you know, 90% of it or whatever.
Right.
Ours, the only thing we use a CNC for is just to do the profile of the neck shape and the profile of the body shape. That way, it's consistent for cases and stuff. But we still hand shape necks. We plunge route the cavities and do all that stuff by hand. Sit there and hand sand. You can ask Shane. He sands a lot.
Lots of sand.
Yeah. So
Right. Yeah, I would imagine.
And
can't ever sand too much.
yeah. So you know, I still use a router to do the binding route and stuff. It's a lot of handwork. It's kind of the way that Leo would have did it back in the day.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah.
No, it's very nice and like it plays like kind of it's very fast. I was messing around with it before. It's beautiful. It handles very nicely. And then in terms of some of the other things that you have to offer at the NAMM show, do you have anything else that you're debuting or?
We debuted this guitar change
Right.
plan. That was new this year, and then in the past like couple years we've debuted several things that we have over there. We have a carved top single cut that's, you know, the sister to this basically.
Right.
And then we just released our Classic Series back in the fall, so
Right.
we have a lot of those over there. So, but yeah, I mean it's been really good. You know, we've been really fortunate. We have a lot of good players playing them. You know, such as
Who are some of the players? Yeah.
yeah, Scott Bartlett of Saving Abel has a custom guitar. We built him. He's had it out on tour ever since we got it to him over a year ago. We built a couple of guitars for Phil Collin of Def Leppard. We've built guitars for Bill Leverty and Alan McKenzie of Firehouse, guitar and bass. Frank Annan of Tesla has several of our guitars that he's got. We've just been really blessed to, you know,
Ford,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And then Tim, who was playing earlier, you
Yes.
made one for him, right?
Yeah, he just came aboard as an artist. We're glad to have you aboard. Great guy, you know, great player.
And that's the thing, whether you're, you know, the upper echelon of players or you're just a normal guy, man, that appreciates a really well-made guitar, you get the same attention to detail, and you're going to talk to the guys building, you know, that are building your guitar for you. So.
Yeah.
Right,
Sure.
and I'm sure it's a fraction of the cost if you know going with you guys versus some of the bigger the bigger companies.
That's the crazy thing. People a lot of times think because we're a boutique company that the guitar itself is going to be way more expensive.
Right.
But to be honest with you, our prices are amazingly affordable.
Right.
You know, so I mean, when you start out at our Classic Series at $15.95, and then the Tejas T like this, and the S's and the OS, which is our offset straight, they start out at $22.95, and then the Neck Through Series starts out at $29.95.
Yeah, that's like affordable, you know, because most musicians are working class, you know, like some of these guitar companies, like you see, they're charging like $5,000 and up, and it's like, who are you making these guitars for, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, when in reality we make a couple $100 out of
I'm sure, yeah, I know that's the crappy part. But and then in terms of your output, we were talking about this a little earlier, but how many guitars would you say that you put out in a year's time? Because you guys are pretty small. But.
Probably right now, we don't push ourselves real hard because we kind of make to order except our spec builds. So right now, probably around 40, 50 guitars a year.
Okay.
and we keep busy with it. It's not like we don't keep busy, but I mean, we could probably do more, you know.
Right.
Even when we're not filling specific orders, we're building bodies and decks so that it's quick to, you know, put something together.
Right. And is it you're mostly selling online for the most part? I'd imagine.
We have a couple dealers. We're actually searching for dealers, but yes, we do sell online. Our dealers, what we try to do is we want to work with them. We want them to be successful at what they do.
Right.
Because if they don't sell guitars, we don't sell guitars.
Of course, yeah.
So we want to work with them and offer exclusive things for them. Like say they sign up and they order 10 guitars or whatever, and they say, well, I want to do a Tejas with abalone binding like this on it, but I want the front of it white, and I don't want any other dealer to have it. We'll do an annual commitment with them, and then at the end of the year, when they re-up, we'll change stuff with them, you know, to make that. So it helps make them successful. So if someone wants a white guitar with abalone binding on it, they have to go to that dealer to get it.
Right, and that's so cool that it's completely customizable, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that great part about it is that, like, if you were going to order a guitar, you call up, you'll talk to Shane or I.
Right, that's nice.
And we'll work with you hand in hand
to
build the guitar of your dreams, just like we did with Tim, you know, with this guitar.
Right.
I mean, he told us what he wanted, we built it to how he wanted it.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I just have to say, I think it's so sweet what you did for your mom to honor her memory. So can you tell us a little bit about where the name comes from?
Yeah, well, thank you.
Company name comes from?
Thank you, I appreciate that. My mom, it was really weird because my mom was my mom, you know, but I lived next door to her for my whole life pretty much. And we were best friends. We ran a music store together, owned it together for 15 years.
She a musician as well? Or?
No, she couldn't even hardly play the radio, but she loved rock and roll music.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
So she's who hooked me on a lot of rock and roll stuff.
Okay.
So you know, it's really awesome to have a parent that influences you like that.
Right.
But she got ill with pancreatic cancer, and I started making prototypes in 2011. And she was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. Oh. And I didn't know what I was going to name the company, out of the gate. I didn't really have a name. I was leaning towards Mason Alsip because that was my granddad was a mason, stone mason. And then in February of 2012, my mom passed away. Oh. And I just finished some prototypes and stuff, and it really hit me at that point. That's the name that the company needs to be named after. I want to keep her name alive.
Well, so I'm sure she'd be so happy and so proud of you.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say this. My mom hated being in the spotlight, so she'd have probably been mad at me, but that's okay.
No, I wouldn't have been.
But you know, afterwards, I felt like that's what it had to be.
Right.
And so I actually took her signature off my birth certificate. We brought it in, created a font with it, and that's what the logo is.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really, really nice. So, well, I think that's all the time we have for today. But thank you guys so much for stopping by and for doing those great demos for us. So
appreciate you guys having us. So,
oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
We're available at AlsipGuitars.com. You can find out more about our guitars and purchase directly from us there.